What's what is going on, everybody? Wow, how far in are we? How far in are we? 12 minutes in to find out that we have no audio. 12 minutes in to find out we have no audio. Good morning, great morning. Apologies for that. I am so sorry. You know what? Oh, hold on. We gotta find out where that audio is coming from. There we go. A lot of audio issues this morning. Here we are right now together. Happy Monday. Great morning. All of a sudden, I started seeing all these thumbs down flying. And I'm like, wow, wow, really, my content has never been received like that before. What's going on over here? And it was so distracting because I can't really focus in on the comments. I focus in on the comments as we get going when we have our intro music going so I could see where everyone is, how everyone's doing, good morning, great morning, and touch base with you all like that. And then I have to focus in on the charts. Otherwise, I just get really distracted. So I apologize. I apologize that we went there with no sound. Either which way, Bitcoin over here. Either which way, Bitcoin over here. Great morning, everyone. This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. Smash that like button. Oh, thumbs down have come off. Okay, I feel a little bit better. Thank you, everyone. Do apologize for that. Bitcoin, $35,000 into resistance this morning. Into resistance this morning. Great to see, right? Remember the dip? Remember that dip, right? If you missed Bitcoin under 20,000 and you wish you had bought it then, well, here's your opportunity at 30,000. And then there it was. We're calling the bottom. Could have went much lower, and it still could. We're just into resistance right now. But if we break out over here, that will be exciting. Bitcoin breaking out of this trend line would be exciting. We'll be looking at taking out this swing high and then full price discovery. Where can we go from here, right? Well, look, after we break out over here, then we'll look at some log charts. We'll look at Will's log chart and look at price, some trend line resistance above. But right now, that's not our focus at all. Bitcoin, $35,000 into some resistance. Ethereum today, wow, it's Ethereum over here is not up against Bitcoin, but against the dollar, definitely at the top of this range over here. And where's Ethereum going from here? This is a question a lot of people are looking for price targets on Ethereum. We know the best way to play it, but it's fun to put out price targets. That's a talk for a different day. You could see these pairs, these altcoins versus Bitcoin coming off a little bit today. That's fantastic. This is Ethereum, Bitcoin. This is one that we've been setting up, and we're setting up for a few weeks. And just look over here. We're now above that resistance, turned into support over here, consolidating. Right, beautiful to see after that trend line break over there, and is really accelerated in the last couple of weeks. So if Bitcoin, by the way, at $35,000 has like an 8x in it, right? $270,000 on Bitcoin this cycle, right? That makes a lot of sense to me. So what does that mean for Ethereum? If Bitcoin could 8x from here, is Ethereum gonna 9x? Is it gonna be trading at $17,000, or is it gonna have maybe a 12x or greater? And we'll just give a brief clarity to all of that, so you understand clearly what the investment is, what you could focus on. Should you be focusing on altcoins versus Bitcoin, right? Is that a way to make more Bitcoin? Because at the end of the day, everyone wants more Bitcoin. Everyone knows this is where I'm focused on Bitcoin because it's the only trade that matters, right? Whether or not you talk about Bitcoin lightly leveraged, if you're using any type of leverage, you have to know what you're doing. You should not be asking any questions. Otherwise, you don't know what you're doing. But you should look into that, perhaps Bitcoin lightly leveraged, and then we'll look at why Bitcoin lightly leveraged, all of it, because it's fascinating to me. I love it. Ethereum over here looking so bullish, getting into price discovery. Where could it go next, right? What type of pullback did we just see around the new all-time highs on Ethereum? It's a 38% healthy pullback over there, right? So is Ethereum going up here 150% before its next pullback? Is that something we're looking at Bitcoin over here? Is this the low right around 30,000 and we're looking at 150% and higher before the next peak on Bitcoin? Where does that put us? I'm not going to do the math right now, but as we break out over here to the high, that's what I'll be lining up, and that's what we'll be looking at, is what's our next bit of resistance over there. Do I think this is the low here? Maybe, maybe not. We're into resistance right now on this trend line. Until this trend line breaks over here, we're not breaking out over here to test that last all-time high and then into price discovery. So is this an opportunity here on these alts over here, pulling back against Bitcoin, right? Should you be invested in alts over Bitcoin right now? And why alts are really going to start to outperform Bitcoin right now. Now, I just mentioned briefly, I had up on the channel before, there we go. Like, the most popular videos on this channel are my work on generally the FX markets and the S&P 500 specific, right? Nasdaq, the equity markets. I have a couple of popular cryptocurrency videos, like this halving video, you know, way before the halving. I said what was going to happen and why. Or you could look over here, look at that 55,000. We're close. We're close. Why I changed my mind on Bitcoin, and I need to look at that with you, but not today. Today we just need to like set the tone, the mindset, and understand why we're going to be focused, where we are focused right now, and why that's not really important what's going on over here, the dollar, right? But we will continue to track the dollar, which right now, by the way, is just sideways and into that resistance over here. This is that bigger view look of the dollar. A trend line breakout here to the upside, then we say, all right, we might see a bigger move into the dollar, into this strong resistance up here at 92.12. But right now, dollar is just not doing anything. It's not exciting. It's not where we want to be focused, or is giving us any read about what's happening elsewhere that we should be focusing on it, right? What about the equity markets? Not exciting. Let's focus in on what's exciting. Let me explain why. Let's look over here. But a couple of questions. So I'm going to just flow into it first through this Litecoin question, right? The question is, should I be focused more on Litecoin versus Bitcoin? During the last 2017 bull run, we saw that Litecoin outperformed Ethereum. Litecoin did not outperform Ethereum. Ethereum and Litecoin outperformed Bitcoin. Is that going to happen again? Should I be invested in Litecoin over Bitcoin? And my response was just like, listen, I don't really see that many network effects growing rapidly on Litecoin, and I do on Ethereum. If you're going to invest in an altcoin, right? Ethereum is pretty good looking, but we're going to look over here right now just to get into it. If you look over here, this is the Bitwise index going back to 2017, the last bull run. You know, I can't remember when, but it was. Yeah, I can't remember when, but it must have been over about a year ago when I was talking about how this bull market would unfold, how Bitcoin would lead the way for at least the first 6 months. Then Ethereum would start running, right, in the top 10. And then after that, you would start seeing the altcoins run. And we're getting to that phase right now. I need to zoom in over here. I had this set up for you, but I had to do that restart because of the issues with the audio. But let me just come to June 2017 over here. There we go. And just go over here to the 17th. And you could see over here, let me just put on Bitcoin first. All right, there's Bitcoin. This is when Bitcoin is coming past starting its 2017 bull run over here. Watch what's happening over here in the top 10, right? Bitcoin did the first work, right? Led the way. And then all of a sudden there was a breakout, which we're experiencing. We have experienced, and I've been talking about as it was occurring, right? When we started watching those altcoins break out versus Bitcoin, looking for that at this point in the cycle. Hold on, let me jump back over here. And that's where we are right now. And now we're coming to like over here where you're really seeing Ethereum break out versus Bitcoin in a strong way. Not just Ethereum, the top 10, right? So now we're coming into this area right now where we're going to start seeing this. We're going to start seeing this right here where we start seeing the rest of the altcoin market really start outperforming as a whole, even Ethereum by a large scale, and Bitcoin also. But here's the thing: if you go to the top of the bull market over here, so let's just extend this a few more months, right, to January of 2018. This is when the market fell apart, and you can see at the top of the market over here, Bitcoin, which peaks first, right? Soon after Ethereum, top 10. And then after that, you're watching within a couple of weeks later, the rest of the altcoin market. There's that massive blow off top. Massive gains. You know, and that's all going to happen again. That's all going to happen again, but we're not there yet. We're not close to there yet. People think that it's wrong of me to be bullish on Bitcoin or focus on Bitcoin, right? So this is why I'm just letting you all know this morning why I'm focused in on Bitcoin, and why I'm also focused in on what's happening in the altcoin market right now, because that is so bullish for Bitcoin. Everything is going right now. If you start seeing not only the top 10, but also the rest of the cryptocurrency market outperforming Bitcoin, and by a large margin, then everything is going extraordinarily well with my trade, because that's exactly as I foresaw was going to happen, right? And that's why I'm focused here on the only trade that matters, Bitcoin. Yeah, lightly leveraged makes sense, because if you look at the outperformance, right, of everything else in comparison, you're going to see over here that, Bitcoin had a 2,000% gain, and the top 10 had just about the same. Top 20 outperformed Bitcoin, and I should have went up a little higher. I'm sorry about that. Top 10 over here at its height was about 50% higher than just Bitcoin. And then you see the all-time top 70 is 9x higher than Bitcoin's return, right? A 9x higher. So that's a big deal. So that's why a lot of people are focused right now on trading altcoins versus Bitcoin, because you're talking about a 9x gain. Now, if you have, I don't know. So anyway, me personally, it's all about Bitcoin. Me seeing what is happening over there on the alts at this point, right on time, makes me feel really comfortable about my Bitcoin trade. Really, really, really comfortable. And I'm always assessing that and all the risks involved with, obviously, the Bitcoin trade. I could say my stop is zero, and I'm serious. My stop is zero, right? But at the same time, I understand what those risks are and why my stop would be at zero, understanding those risks, right? So you have to do the same if you are doing the same. And if you're not doing the same, then we just don't have the same understanding of what Bitcoin is and what money is. But here we are, aren't we? So, so is this the time over here? Is this a time for people that are active? Of course it is. If this is, if you're, this is where you want to be over here, trading on altcoins here versus Bitcoin. And it's beautiful to watch. It's beautiful to watch, really, to see this happening, because way before this was happening right now in real time, and you can see right now in real time, you see the altcoin market lagging Bitcoin and lagging Ethereum. Like, that happened back over here as well in January 2017. You were watching Ethereum, Bitcoin well outperforming the rest of the market. But what you're going to see happening then after is you're going to see a huge jump up, and that's going to be super healthy for Ethereum and Bitcoin. Now, there's the whole line of thought out there, the whole philosophy that, none of these projects at this point could compete with either Ethereum or Bitcoin. Well, we know nothing could compete with Bitcoin. That doesn't matter then, therefore, if there are huge successes as protocols, whether it's Ethereum, or for what other solutions this tech could be used for. And this tech could be used for many, 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 many different things and solutions. There are great cases over here for these altcoins over here, for many of these projects involved, and they could go on to do great things and become giant companies. Look, that's all well, that's all good. I don't know if that's that's going to happen. Understand, if you're invested in Ethereum, that Ethereum is really risky. People don't like when I say that it's risky. It is super highly speculative. There's a lot of moving pieces. It's not yet worked out. They're trying to all work it out. Hopefully it all works out, but do you feel safe making a large speculative investment in Ethereum? I know a lot of people are. A lot of people are making really, and the more and more that begin making these high speculative investments, is it going to attract more and more money? Of course it is. That's why Ethereum is going to go, or is looking to go in this bull market phase of Bitcoin over here, somewhere around, who knows, but a 12x from here, it seems reasonable. It seems reasonable if I think Bitcoin's going to do a 9x. Either which way, I think Bitcoin is going to do an 8x from here. I think Bitcoin is going to do at least an 8x from here without even a blow off top. And that's why, as we come down, had that last 30% pullback. If you're interested in that and adding into the pullbacks, that's your dip. a lot of people are really fearful over here when we're actually experiencing that pullback that they've been waiting and looking for. You know, safer entry over here, breaking above the trend line, of course. Definitely, Bitcoin will be looking much better over there. I think once we break out, we'll be assessing what's higher over there. So let me see let me see what's going on over here. Let me check in with all of you. What's going on in the comments? So yeah, I just see the word scammers by Danny. First of all, thank you to all the moderators who are doing just a really generous job in helping me a lot. You know, because all the time I'm like fighting this spam on YouTube, and it's really annoying. But it's important to me to keep that all looking really clean and good for us. And the spam is annoying, especially people impersonating me. Be very careful about that. I would never give you a WhatsApp phone number or solicit you for investment in the comments of YouTube. So thank you to everyone for going out of your way. So what use cases have you seen? Right, they are centralized databases, for sure. There's no question about that. Are there use cases for them? Of course. I mean, you could... we don't need to get into whether or not there's use cases for altcoins. Is there a use case for Ethereum? Yeah. Are you asking, could anything that an altcoin, any property an altcoin has be built on top of Bitcoin? Oh, then the answer is of course. You know, Bitcoin, yeah, that's why it's Bitcoin, and that's why it's the most important trade. That's why everyone's trying to get more Bitcoin. That's why everyone's trying to get more Bitcoin, because they understand that it's superior to any other altcoin. Because it's, you know, but, you know, if you feel that you could get more Bitcoin at this point in the cycle by trading versus these altcoins and these speculations, maybe not people asking the same questions you're asking or having the same understanding that you have. Maybe they feel that, you know, yeah, you know, Ethereum could be the next Bitcoin, because they're going to start burning, you know, as fees. They're going to start burning Ethereum. Maybe it becomes super deflationary and is valued more than Bitcoin. But it can't be, because it's a centralized database, as you said, right? So that's the difference. This is Bitcoin, the decentralized. Does Jordan have an email? All right, Bitcoin does look great, and this giant bull flag that is forming over there, you can see that over there, right? That looks beautiful. Watching the consolidation. What has been more beautiful for me is not watching this, has been watching the move in Ethereum and other alts versus Ethereum. That's really beautiful for me, signaling that we are just at a super healthy point in the cycle. That all is super bullish for me for Bitcoin, and that's the way I see it, and that's the way I saw it coming. So it's just really important to focus in on today, that I'm really, really happy about where we are right now on time. By the way, as you see red right now, as you start seeing red, and don't think that, you know, if Ethereum, Bitcoin were to pull back right now, right? How far is it pulled back? 7%? 9%? You know, so far? You know, what would a 25% pullback look like? Is it going to pull back another 25% after just making new all-time highs and then pulling back? After Ethereum just making new all-time highs over here and then having a pullback? That was a pretty nice pullback it had off the new all-time high. I think all of us were expecting that, looking at that as it was happening, pretty comfortable, talking about when it was time to get back in over there. But where's it going from here? Is it going to pull back again? Or is it going to go up here? You know, is it going to go up, you know, 200%, 150% off the low over here of 925? I think probably the latter, but they haven't broken out yet. Well, Bitcoin hasn't broken out yet, and Bitcoin needs to break out next for everything else to have a chance to consolidate and then snap up higher. So it's Bitcoin's turn when it's ready to start the next leg up. And then until then, wow, right? Wow, beautiful. Rob, good morning. So yeah, I think I'm going to do a video just on, you know, like I've done for Bitcoin. I'm going to do a video on what my price prediction for Ethereum bull run would be. Not just a general idea, but just to give you, you know, the full, like, you know, conclusion of that. I already showed you out in this video. You know, if Bitcoin has an 8x from in here, do I think that Ethereum has a 9 to 12x in it? Yeah. So you could just do the math. It's that simple, but I'll go ahead and lay it out and present it just so you could see it. But we already talked about that earlier in this video, and that's exactly what it is. By the way, I just wanted to take note of this as well. This part was really cool to hear. You know, love how cool-headed you are. And I don't mean why Bitcoin is in the downtrend. Well, yeah, that was pretty cool-headed, right? People are freaking out right now. That's why I made sure over the weekend to put out this tweet to get everyone aware of what was happening, right? As we were seeing that pullback, assessing how far we could go down. Look, a 38% drawdown would have took us to 26. I was prepared for it. I didn't know if it was going to happen. I don't know if it's still going to happen. It could still possibly happen. I'm prepared for it, you know, and there we are. No. I'm not going to do the Ethereum video and for who knows how long. When it's ready and it comes out, I'll put it out. Everyone should be fully aware of where we're looking, the targets we're looking at, feeling really comfortable. And if you're not, I'm glad you're here today. Welcome. Please do subscribe to the channel. Continue joining us over here. It's not something that takes place in one day. It's something that you need to do every day. And every day, as you do your analysis, as you're spending your time following that flow of the markets, you get a feel. You get a feel for trends. You get a feel for the pulse, for the rhythm of the market. And they're all interacted. But I always said first quarter 2021. I said this several months in advance. At that point, Bitcoin's breaking all correlations with other markets. So right now, other markets are no longer exciting for us. The S&P 500 will become exciting for me one of two ways. If we get a correction, like at least a 9% pullback. A 9% pullback will make it exciting. You know, and do I think that we have a blow off, maybe short-term top here before we get that correction? Probably. That's probably how it'll play out. So I'm watching for a correction on the S&P 500. Nasdaq, before that, we'll start really talking about that in much depth. Same thing with the DXY. If it breaks a major level, then we'll look at it, but we know it's going nowhere. Consolidating, right? Going into that support area, say watch out. Coming back up here, testing that resistance would be perfectly normal. We're just consolidating there, figuring it out. Gold and silver are not doing much. Interesting, right? Because gold and silver have every reason to be doing everything right now. And they're not really doing much. Interesting, right? Because Bitcoin's eating the world right now, and obviously it's affecting the price of gold and silver here. Short-term noise. Short-term noise. There is a huge use case for the altcoin of gold, physical gold, by the way, and that is what it is. Privacy is a huge deal. So I think that gold is great. But it's not so exciting right now. What's exciting is the cross Bitcoin gold. That's exciting over here. Let's go look at that really quick. And if you remember, as price was shooting up here, up 12% that day, I was like, oh, isn't this a great time to sell? Here we are right now, coming back towards the bottom of that range. Once we break outside of this little bit of a rising channel in this strong downtrend, then you're going to see really this start to break down. But that's when Bitcoin's going to be rising. That's when Bitcoin's going to be rising right outside that trend line as well. Is that going to happen right now as we come into 35,000? I don't know. We're into resistance, you know, and that's, you know, the same mind frame we had coming over here into that resistance. There was a lot of euphoria. We just pointed out, hey, we're into that resistance until we break out. Here we are again, same exact thing happening. Until we break out, we're into resistance right now. So yellow light. What else? Nope. Anthony, I don't have any thoughts on the Dow because I just pointed out why the equities are not exciting at all. I've been pointing that out, but not right now. Same thing with oil. So that is exciting. Should we look at FX? Is FX exciting right now? Do we want to focus in on Forex? I'm always interested in what's going on in the Forex market. Reason for that is because this has the reason that I am the trader that I am, the investor I am, is because of the foreign exchange market. You know, that's where I've spent my career on the foreign exchange market. It's what got me into Bitcoin, being able to spot trends, right? And so focusing on the foreign exchange over here really helps keep me in tune with the market. I don't know if it was on a YouTube comment or on Twitter where I was talking about the importance of why I do my analysis every day, why have to be like how all markets. Oh, here we go. I found out the reason why. Since all markets are so interconnected and I'm always assessing the risk of Bitcoin, I need to really be focused on all markets. There's no way I could be positioned into Bitcoin the way that I am right now, the way that we set up and the way that we are, unless I was so focused in on all markets. All right, so there's nothing without risk. It's all a calculated risk. Here we are. The reason I focus on the foreign exchange, though, is because it does help me keep the most rhythm of the market by understanding the flows of these currencies, the way that the market is flowing, whether it's risk on, whether it's risk off. If not, we're seeing a problem in the market. Are we seeing the dollar milkshake play out, or is the dollar being sold off and devalued? Right? Which of those is taking place at what particular time? Those are the things that we do, that I do at least. Nevertheless, super fun to be looking at the cryptocurrency markets right now, doing what they're doing. Euro US dollar is not exciting because it's in a trading range, as is the DXY, right? We know that we don't have a move on the dollar. We do notice, though, that the euro has been weaker than most other things. Something that's been strong has been the pound US dollar versus the dollar. Look at this rising uptrend that it continues to be into that strong resistance. A break above that resistance here on the pound US dollar could continue the pound appreciation in a strong way we've been seeing. In a strong way, especially if we continue to see a weaker dollar, as I expect, a weaker dollar in 2021, a much weaker dollar, right? So the pound is something that looks attractive versus the US dollar here. But right now it's into resistance. You can't be buying into resistance, obviously. So you can't, it's not something that you could green light right now. It's not something you could focus on. You gotta keep moving over here. And by the way, is it too soon to get into, if we're looking for Bitcoin, if we are looking for Bitcoin to make this breakout over here right now, and why we have to be cautious into that resistance, if Bitcoin does break out, you're going to see Bitcoin start appreciation versus alts, and maybe in a big way. You might now have a bigger drawdown in these alts right now. That's something to watch out for. It's something to have that awareness, because they should be bought, but not right now. Right now, they're just off their highs over here. Right? Not right now. Not right now. Back to pound US dollar, right? I think this is something that needs to be watched, but not right now. Coming back down into any area of support in this uptrend of this channel might afford a better entry. Let me check out what's going on with the pound Japanese yen at the same time. Japanese yen continues to be weak versus especially commodity currencies, yet US dollar, Japanese yen are really just two weak currencies that are not really doing much. All right, so I'm trying to make the case here. I'm trying to make the case for myself to be spending time this morning on the currency markets, but it's not really offering me any advantage to where I want to be focused in on right now. So is there anything you all want to look at in the FX markets? Let me know. I would be happy to dig in. This is what I'm interested in. So on alt weight, right? I mean, you should just be sitting pretty right now. You should be sitting pretty right now and feeling good and waiting. When I say sitting pretty, is you just wrote out a 30% drawdown, right? Most likely, or hopefully, that's the bottom. Hopefully, could we go lower? Could we come into 26? Yes, that could happen. 26,000 within the next, within the next week. That's a possibility. But as soon as we break out over here, you're a lot comfortable, and then you're just holding a really good position that we're going to be looking at. I don't know what it is, but 150% at least to the upside once Bitcoin takes out this new all-time high. So just sitting in whatever your position you're in right now is by far the best trade. By far the best trade. As Bitcoin makes that new all-time high, by the way, it's a lot safer to add to a position than right over here. Once you hit price discovery right now in this bull market phase, same thing with this trend line. A break above, it gets safer adding to your Bitcoin position than it is right now. Right now, you're into resistance. You should just be happy and holding strong. holding strong and calm, right? As far as any altcoins though right now, no, I mean, this is not the place to add to them, right? They just had their pullback. We spoke about as they were having the pullback that was the time to add to them, right? So across the board, that was the dot Bitcoin over there. I drew that circle. I was like, that's the time. And anyway, that continues. Is this the time now? I think if Bitcoin's going to break out, this is the most important piece to focus in on. And again, I'm just trying to figure it all out myself each day. So forgive me if the presentation is a little bit unclear, because I'm making sure it's clear for myself. Got it. Yeah, let's take a look at the euro British pound. This is one of actually the exciting pairs right now. This is one of the exciting pairs in FX. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. Everyone should be aware of what's going on. Let's touch base of what's going on right now. Since breaking that last line of support, that line of hope, right? You could see that twice we have these wicks up here into that resistance. It's held. We haven't yet resumed off, right? We haven't yet resumed off, but yeah, there it goes. There's the entry right there, right? There's the entry right there. Yeah, where's your stop on the euro British pound? I think that's the better question to be asking right now. And it's got to be above that resistance. That's giving it a lot of room right now until you resume down. That's giving this a lot of room right now until you resume down. Entry right over there. Euro, we've seen that continued weakness over the last few weeks. And we've seen, I can't say the dollar's strong. I could say that the dollar is consolidating at lows and the euro's consolidating at highs, and that's what they are, trading sideways, consolidating after these big moves up. So, unattractive. That's awesome, Strawberry Jam. Thanks for sharing that. Beautiful. I'm trying to catch up a little on the comments. US dollar, Canadian dollar. It's pretty interesting off that trend line. Let me check in. Look at that. This is coming into resistance over here of this very, very important trend lines over here. US dollar, Canadian dollar. Dollar milkshake theory. It played out, and I exited early. I exited into that resistance over here of this trade. My first exit. But we talked about this trade unfolding as it unfolded, why it was unfolded. It was a beautiful trade, right? But I didn't expect this to play out as it played out. There were some amazing moves in 2020. I wasn't a part of the euro Australian dollar. This spike over here, this was absolutely astonishing. Not only the spike up, but the fall down. And yeah, I wish I were. I was not involved in this trade, but 2020 had absolutely insane trades. So euro British pound, by the way, look, let's step back over here. This is the 3-day. It looks like that, what we've been seeing going on for the last few years is the euro and pound consolidating way up here, right? Now we have a reason why the pound could actually appreciate versus the euro. That was the UK leaving the EU. So there was a lot of uncertainty what was going to happen. And that was been priced in throughout all of 2020, 2021. All of a sudden, we're continuing seeing that little push into the pound. It's been small and it's gradual. There's nothing else to say, but it is a clear trend that you're seeing occur in the pound. There it is. It's just up this channel over here, up this channel, right? So it's just small, but it's clear and it's apparent. So, I mean, let's look at the pound New Zealand dollar and the pound Australian dollar, because those two commodity currencies have been the strongest the last couple of months. Let's see how the pound is now holding up versus them, because you could see that they have been in that strong downtrend, rightfully so. The pound has been uncertain and weak. Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, super strong in this inflationary type environment. And right now you see them pulling back off its lows back to test that resistance. I mean, does the resistance break now? Or is this just a place here to lean in over here if price resumes out? I don't know. And I don't know. Either one of those things could happen. If you're interested in trading it, that's what you're focused in on. but that's not so exciting. Even coming over here, you could talk about, this is the price of silver. Let me just come back, zoom out a little bit for you, and you could see what's been going on in silver. Here's this, what is this, Silvergate Capital, right? You want to compare it to silver and be like, oh yeah, it looks a little bit more bullish than silver right now. Sure, it looks a little bit more bullish than silver right now, but to what end, right? Is silver exciting right now, right? I think silver goes on to make new all-time highs in 2021. It's not, and you know, maybe that won't be until the fall or winter of 2021 when silver really starts running, and maybe because there's a lot of smart money exiting crypto and going into gold and silver. You know, we'll see what happens then. But right now, there's a lot of money leaving precious metals, and it is going into cryptocurrencies. A lot of people that understand the value prop of gold have a very, very easy time understanding the value prop of Bitcoin. Did I say Bitcoin has a did I say that Bitcoin could go 8x from here to $270,000? Of course. That's been, of course. Do you remember when I put out that video that I was wrong on Bitcoin? That it's not going to $160,000? That it wasn't going to go to $160,000? That it looks like it's going higher? That I showed that my math for $160,000. I don't know what video it is. Is it this Bitcoin halving price prediction or something right after it? I wish I had the playlist right now so I could see. Either which way, I digress. There's 280,000 at 8x, something that I foresee on Bitcoin. Yeah, that's the trade I've been focused in on and setting up, right? Since Bitcoin was trading on this channel with you all under $8,000, $7,000, buying more as Bitcoin went down to 38,000, buying more, and then talking about where we're going into the halving and where we should be going after. Working at $160,000 as my price target using diminishing returns. I put out a video a couple of months ago, 6 weeks ago, and said clearly I was wrong on Bitcoin. We're not seeing diminishing returns. We're seeing actually a higher than average between the first two cycles. And that's because right now we're in this super, super monetary environment. We're in this super easy monetary environment where the Fed is doing QE. It's not only the Fed this time. Back in 2013, it was just the Fed, right? At that point, right? What was it? No, Bank of Japan. They obliterated the yen. They obliterated the yen. Massive, massive amount of stimulus, right? But it is also another easy monetary environment. We have $315 billion of QE from the G10 right now, each month in security purchases. That is the biggest signal I see right now out there in the markets. And with that going on, as Bitcoin's going through its portion of its bull phase, because even if the Fed was tightening right now, Bitcoin would be outperforming everything else. Maybe Bitcoin would be resembling last cycle or the cycle, but either which way, I get caught up. Oh my goodness! Again, just to be very clear to everyone, if you're asking anyone about making any type of investment on margin or leverage or through a loan, then you should not be doing that. There's no way you should be doing that. Definitely, so be careful about that. Oh, sorry about that. I'm sorry. I thought we had the moderate. I have to moderate that myself. Hold on one second. That's got to be removed. That's absolutely atrocious. We got that. Thank you. Whoever did that, whether it was George, Cameron, Wes, whoever, Pure Vita, thank you so much. Terrible. So nice Monday morning to see Bitcoin over here, approaching $35,000 into the resistance over there. It'll be even a better day if Bitcoin breaks out. If Bitcoin breaks out, I will be happy to have that bit of euphoria. People are like, oh, you don't have any type of euphoria. Bitcoin under $100,000 is not exciting, right? 100,000 Bitcoin is not exciting. Is that what I tweeted out? yeah, it's not exciting because that's not what we're looking for. And at 100,000 Bitcoin, I'll be happier than I am right now in the fact that the trade is progressing as it should. But I'll be pretty level-headed about it, as I was as we came into $42,000. Remember, at $19,000, after having that 30% pullback, that's what I started looking at 40,000. At 40,000, I said, listen, watch what could happen. If we start going vertical from here, expect more than a 30% drawdown. Do you remember I put the video out right over here? If we go vertical and resemble more cycle one, and have like a double wave here, this bull market, which we still might, we might go vertical out of this. Who knows? But we never went vertical. I said that would be, I think I said between $70,000 and $100,000, over $100,000 quickly. I would have considered going vertical, and then I will say we should looking for more than a 30% pullback. But that never happened. We just had a 30% pullback. That's something that we're prepared for all the time during this bull market phase. In the bear market, obviously, way more, 85%. But right now we're looking for those 30% pullbacks over there. We're mentally prepared for them, and that's why we're just calm. People say it's reckless. Well, I don't think it's reckless. I think it's calculated. That's what we're doing. Tesla's going crazy. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla up 5% over here. Tesla breaking out all-time high. This was the resistance before the 5-to-1 split in Tesla. Tesla's going crazy. And is Tesla going to continue to go crazy? I mean, Tesla outperformed Bitcoin in 2020. The best trade for 2020 was really Tesla. And, I'm obviously focused on Bitcoin. Should I have been focused in on Tesla? And those that were, I know a few of you who actually were focused in on Tesla and then parlayed into Bitcoin at this point in the cycle. And what else could I say? But like extraordinary. It's so extraordinarily well played. Not on my radar. Not something that never would I venture into. Like that's for me is just all over the place. And that's why I am where I am. But beautiful to see. And what's going to happen this year? Are we going to see because of are we going to see equity markets just really continue to melt up with an occasional maybe 9% correction, 15% correction? Could that all happen? Maybe if they do happen, be prepared. But Tesla's Tesla. Wow. Flying. Beautiful. But Bitcoin is Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is just getting warmed up. Bitcoin went up 100% in about 20 days over here. 100%. Forget about Ethereum. Ethereum's flying, right? Ethereum's flying, but more than Bitcoin. And we're expecting that and we're looking for that. But I'm super, 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 super stoked, super happy with how Bitcoin is trading at this point in time. And that's what it is. It's time. It's just one block after another, right? It's all programmed in. That's why Bitcoin does what Bitcoin does. As it's growing into the overall financial system and taking up a bigger part, as Bitcoin becomes a trillion and multi-trillion dollar asset, how that changes, we'll figure that out as we get there. Right now, the most important thing is to really make sure that you're able to really ride this sweet spot of this bull market phase that we're experiencing and going to experience throughout the rest of this year into the later part of 2021, and making sure that you attack here. This is where you attack. This is where I attack. Anything I say is not financial advice. I'm just giving my analysis here, showing any trades that I'm making, talking about them. You should never take a trade just because someone else is. If you don't understand it, never, ever, ever do it. But spend more time learning, spend some more time developing that skill, and you will be able to learn how to make very well risk adverse trades, and that's what it is. So yeah, everyone, right? I mean, not everyone is bearish on the dollar. Not everyone is bearish on the dollar. A lot of people are super bullish on the dollar and have remained so since the Fed acted, right? The moment that I became bearish on the dollar was right after the Fed expanded their balance sheet by $4.1 trillion. It was then, when was it, in May, when the DXY broke down out of a channel. And once it broke down out of a channel, because of what had changed, I became bearish on the dollar. It's not that I wanted to be bearish on the dollar. The dollar was just bearish, right? You could see coming back over here. Once we broke below this channel over here, after the Fed had injected $4.1 trillion into the system, I became bearish on the dollar on the technical break. And then we had that breakdown, that retest, and then that resumption. And here we are right now since. So it's not that everyone's bearish on the dollar. Everyone's rightfully bearish on the dollar. So everyone's rightfully bearish on the dollar, but you still have people, I don't say it anymore. Remember I used to say, like, you have fun holding on to your milkshake? You know, right or wrong, I was right. You know, like, is Peter Schiff promoting gold, you know, throughout the whole bear market? You're just a shill if you're on the wrong side of the trade and not seeing it that when it's that clear. That's all. Dollar short squeeze incoming. Right. Alan, what's going on today? We're looking at MicroStrategy. Oh, Corporation Summit. Thanks for bringing that up, Alan. Thank you for bringing that up. Michael Seiler, by the way, just did a beautiful video on Stransberry Research. And then Anthony Papalano the next day. Those two are really fun to watch. Wait, let me come back to that. We're over there. Back to Alan, MicroStrategy. They're holding a summit for corporations who want to put Bitcoin on their balance sheet, right? So MicroStrategy is holding a corporation summit for other corporations that may be interested in putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Super bullish right now as we get into this beautiful part of this bull market phase. First quarter 2021. We're still in January, end of January. First quarter is just getting warmed up. So is the cryptocurrency market. This is when I said it breaks all correlations, and forget about it later on. Forget about it, you know, over the summer into the spring. We're going to see some crazy FOMO. But right now we have corporations FOMOing. It's a big signal. A big signal. Thanks, Alan, for bringing that up. Antonio, do you feel safe keeping over $300,000 on Coinbase? I don't, you know, I'm not here to recommend any exchanges, but why Coinbase? Why Coinbase? I have a really good experience with BlockFi. It's the only place I bought Bitcoin for about 8 months or so. And I prefer to buy my Bitcoin off of BlockFi. I really like the security behind it. And I feel much better about holding my Bitcoin with a third party. Their Bitcoin holdings are increasing rather than decreasing. They're decreasing right now on Coinbase. Coinbase has less and less Bitcoin. BlockFi has more and more as it's holding all this collateral. So yeah, I feel much better about BlockFi personally. But do your own research. There's so much to do. I hope that any you know. Thank you. Kai, you lost 28,000 in January of 2018 on Bitcoin. Your channel inspired me to do a lot more research. Thank you. Glad to hear that and be in the right position this cycle. Thank you. Kai, that's awesome. Doing that research is critical. There's no way you could be in and hold your position unless you understand not only the position and why you're in it from both a fundamental and a technical and then a risk management. You know, all those things are equally as important. You could be right on Bitcoin, and there's a lot of people who spent their early years building companies on Bitcoin and understand Bitcoin developers, and they never got rich off of Bitcoin because they've been basically just living off their Bitcoin, right? Even though they saw, the important thing is to not only see the trend, be positioned well enough that you have the ability to ride it out for its maximum potential. And that's where the risk management lies. But when people talk about, when I talk about Bitcoin, I looked that when Bitcoin first started, when we first started talking about Bitcoin, it was like $7,800 on this channel. That's when that was back in over here, right? Even lower. I started the channel in November the end of November, end of October 2019. So all of this area, Bitcoin between 7,700 and 6,700. That's when we began talking about Bitcoin and the bullish case for Bitcoin, why you should be positioned into Bitcoin, right? And then when we had this anomaly here, what was that? That was the dollar shortage, right? I don't think we ever broke down outside that trend line. This was the system model breaking. This was something was wrong. My system model broke here. But as it broke, I was able to recalculate and see that as soon as I was able, I wanted to buy more Bitcoin down over here as quickly as possible, right? And then we watched as we came back up into this trend line over here. This took a while. People were very nervous when Bitcoin in March was trading at $600. Soon thereafter, people asked me, Jordan, wait, it's Bitcoin's at $9,000. It's getting late. Do you still think it's going to trade to 18,000 by December of 2020? And I was like, absolutely, for sure. Right? And then we had the breakout of the bull market, right? Walked ourselves through this, always watching out for a downside. But we were like, everyone should be super well positioned. This is not like we just found Bitcoin. I see a lot of these YouTubers that are really, really exceptional. There were a lot of like real estate YouTubers, Graham Stephan, this other guy, the magician guy, these great YouTubers, and who are in the real estate market, and that's what they started their YouTube. They all like all of a sudden are now like into Bitcoin, and rightfully so. They should be. If you're into Bitcoin right now, you're right on time. This is the bull market phase. You're early in it. This is the time, But we've been setting this up for a while. People say that, oh, you act like it's not risky. Are you kidding? The only reason I spend all my time focusing in on this is because I know how risky it is. Not any advice. I'm not here really to give advice, but I could talk about my biggest mistake in investing, over the last 25 years. And that was all the money that I spent on Amazon, back in the early 2000s, 2003. I think that's, all the money that I spent over that next decade on Amazon, had I purchased on Amazon stock, that investment alone would have been, probably the best investment up to this point of my career. Think about that. So that's my biggest mistake, and what I would tell, anyone. What I would tell anyone is you have to have a higher time preference, especially when you're young. Even if that's Tesla today, is Tesla or the ARK, one of the ARK ETFs, the one that the space exploration one that's going to be coming out? Are those something maybe that you want to take an asymmetric bet in as a young person? $1,000 in one of those investments might work out to be very, 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 very lucrative over the next 20 years. But is that going to outperform Bitcoin? I don't think so. Bitcoin outperforms. Bitcoin outperforms. Even better if you understand the 4-year cycle of Bitcoin, because it gives you the opportunity to accumulate way more Bitcoin by understanding the cycle itself, taking advantage, setting up that accumulation stage into the bull market, into the blow off top, and then waiting for that bear to get, for that bear to really 85% is a big drawdown. Either which way, 15 months to the next halving will be there accumulating at the cycle low, ready to do it again, greatly increasing your Bitcoin stack. That's what it's about for me, right? So when you talk about, well, that's what we're talking about. We looked at early in this video about Litecoin, in this video to the beginning of the stream, very beginning, right? Didn't we? Grayscale buying more Bitcoin. People make the case that Grayscale is going to be buying more Litecoin, and that PayPal right now, you can buy one of 4 cryptocurrencies, whether it's Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin. What's the fourth? What else is up there with Litecoin? I don't know what the fourth one is, but you can buy Litecoin on PayPal. They have a huge user base. But listen, I think more people are attracted to Ethereum right now. Ethereum is definitely it's got all those network effects. You're seeing other blockchains. EOS is another one who have, migrated over to Ethereum. So I can't understand why Litecoin, and for me, it's Bitcoin lightly leveraged. Nothing else makes more sense. Understanding that you could see altcoins pump out 9 times more than Bitcoin. You could see altcoins here peak out 9 times more than Bitcoin as they did in the last bull market phase. And that probably happens again. This last, I don't know what it is, this last like 3 or 4 weeks is when, or 2 weeks, maybe even 2 or 3 weeks, you see this blow off top in altcoins where they just have massive amounts. Is that going to happen again? That's how this ends. When that's happening, then it's time for us to think about getting out of Bitcoin. At least myself. And until then, I think Bitcoin lightly leveraged is the best. Either which way, however you do it, however you can do it. I'll jump down all the way to the bottom of the comments. Is that right, Gene? Is Litecoin rolling out some type of, is it Mimblewimble on Litecoin? But the thing about it is, right, that's just bullish for Bitcoin. If Litecoin could do that, that would be super, super bullish for Bitcoin because then it can be done on Bitcoin. And they're slow to make any changes on Bitcoin. Thank you. So thank you so much for saying that weekend video. I hope you're talking about my video. I don't know. Maybe you're not. Sorry. I shouldn't comment. I'm not following the conversation. But I like the video that we did over the weekend on the altcoins. So it's Bitcoin Cash. I didn't want to say it unless it was happening. And even Bitcoin Cash, Josh. What about Bitcoin Cash? Is that something that during this bull market you're going to see appreciate massively? Does that have, a 10x in it from where it is right now? Maybe. Maybe, but Bitcoin, I'm looking for an 8x. So it looks like a lot being built on Litecoin, a lot of hype about it, and that's all good. That's all good for sure. But you could see, by the way, all these comments. This is what's fantastic. This is what I'm reading right now. You could see how Ethan is here because now everyone is looking. Hey, what is the possibility of appreciating most versus Bitcoin? We've had this list. We've focused on this list that is over here on the right, and these have proven to be some of the best altcoins that are appreciating versus Bitcoin. Alan was the first one who pointed out this trend line break on DOT. Alan pointed this one out ahead of time. We saw the retest over here and the resumption out. Now DOT over here getting ready to make new all-time highs versus Bitcoin. That's the leader. You can see Ethereum is not yet close to making new all-time highs out on Bitcoin. Will it? That's the question. Will Ethereum make a new all-time high versus Bitcoin? And it's entirely possible. We've been tracking this one, watching this one come in. Here's Litecoin, right? So let me pull up Litecoin Bitcoin just so you can see the difference. And maybe you're saying, well, is now the time? Is now the time where we're going to see Litecoin really break it? Because Litecoin, as you can see, it hasn't broken outside of that. It's broken outside the trend line, but it's been just sideways and consolidating, right? So, I would wait till you start seeing maybe Litecoin doing something. And that might mean breaking out over here above that swing high, above that resistance up there. But that's 100% from where it is right now. But I don't like buying assets or trading in instruments that are like going sideways and doing nothing. I'm always looking for what's trending because I'm always looking to push trades multiple support or resistance levels. Litecoin, I don't see it right now. I don't understand. Maybe later, but right now it's not really, it's not doing much. That's awesome. Thank you for, and it's true. And that's what this is all about. This helps so many people, so many people. And that's what's beautiful. Dan, you know what? It's Jimmy Song just did an interview on the Investors podcast with Preston Fish, Jimmy Song, and I think that's what it was. and he explains exactly when that the miners will actually be making more money from fees than from mining new blocks. So Jimmy explains and gives the time frame on that, but that's going to happen. Everyone knows when that's going to happen. All these miners that are building these massive projects, they understand it better than anyone. But eventually, the miners will be making more money off of fees. Gene, have you read the book? I have Jimmy sent me the book, and he asked me if I would read it, and I have every intention of doing so. I haven't had the opportunity to do that. We have a bunch of little kids, right? We got a lot of kids running around, and it's a lot. So I would love to read the book. I would love to interview Jimmy about the book if it was something that I enjoyed. It had a lot to do with the justness of Bitcoin, which I mean, Bitcoin is just money. It's just, it's fair, and I would like to know more about it, Gene. I would like to read it. I'm glad you brought that up. I don't know when I can. I don't know if I can. So I mean, the question is, everyone should know. I wouldn't like it, you have a full position in Ethereum. Should I diversify? If you're thinking about that, you're fully positioned into Ethereum, and that maybe you should diversify. Maybe you should. I mean, you need to look into that a little bit further. I would ask the question why you don't have a Bitcoin position. Is it because you think Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin? Uh, you know, when the steady horse is going 8x, or potentially 8x from where it is, go with the steady horse. Is 25,000 possible? Yeah, 24,000 is even possible. Dollar cost averaging is a fantastic strategy during the accumulation stage. When we're about like 18 months to 15 months, right, away from the next halving of Bitcoin, you could start at dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin. That's the time to do it. What about right now? Would you dollar cost into Bitcoin right now? No, you would buy it, at market. If we could time, I mean, we time the heartbeats over here, right? And we know right now we're coming into resistance, right? That's what I was saying. We're coming into an area of resistance right now. We could even come back down lower over to here, waiting until we break out. Once we break out, that's the higher probability trade. That's the easier trade to get behind, knowing that from there we look like we're going to resume. However, you are right now. We were just 30% off the high. And when we were 30% off the high, that's when we were like, all right, it's time to lean in and buy. So, this is your chance. This is your opportunity. So right now, would you dollar cost average into Bitcoin right here in the bull market phase? Not me. I would go all in. 100. But that's just me. I understand that. Yeah, Gene, that's awesome. Gene, are you the one who on Twitter was generous enough to recommend that maybe I might have an interest in the book? If you are, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Someone did, or a couple of people did, and I was grateful for that for sure. And I did. It's hard for me to put Bitcoin to a Christian perspective, except for that it's just, right. Like, God is just. So if Bitcoin is just money, what I understand it to be, then that's good. But that's really all the connection I personally would make. You know, that's as a Christian myself. I don't know what they get into. I'd like to read it, but again, it's just money. God is just. That's good. And that's where kind of the connection ends for me. Is that a type of financial system a Christian should get behind? Well, it's just, right? The current monetary system we have, the Federal Reserve, fractional reserve monetary system that we have, where money is debt that's leveraged up to 9 times, almost 10 times, is absolutely insanely evil. So of course, there's that connection between Bitcoin. That's yeah. Anyway, Gene, I'm rambling. I would like to read it. Tim Draper is not. I don't think anything of Tim Draper except that he, got a hold of Bitcoin at a really good time. His price predictions and timing are off, though he doesn't understand the 4-year cycle well. But he's in the right trade at the right time, and he's all over it for that. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Lisbon. We got a lot of listeners in Lisbon, Portugal. I got to visit Lisbon, Portugal. I took a bus from the bus station to Fatima and spent a few days there for the. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful, 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 beautiful people, beautiful country. Alan Pear, just Pope Francis said it best. He said, parenting is quote unquote wasting time with your children, right? And it's just being there with them. That's the blessing of parenthood, and making the right choices, making the right investments is what will afford you to be able to spend more time with your family. That's the way it is. The smarter you are about your money, the smarter you are about your investment and the investments you make, and not just investing in something hoping that you're going to get rich, but doing it very methodically and calculated, and making sure that you think about it. Like, my position is Bitcoin, and I'm fully positioned into Bitcoin, right? So, you could just Google, things like search thing. I shouldn't say Google. You could just search things like that to get the answer. I don't have that answer for you. Could you display the channel on Bitcoin? Yeah. Oh, isn't it on right now? Yes. Raul is late on. Raul is saying that, but this is something I've been consistent about since the inception of this channel. Since the inception of this channel, about 14 months ago, I've been clear in the bull market phase that I expect Ethereum to outperform Bitcoin. And then as it happened, as we were lining this up for several weeks now, this Ethereum Bitcoin trade for several weeks, riding it through this area, getting out, right? And a big right over here. Look, I'm so sorry. Here was the trend line break, rode it into resistance, right? And then over here, tried to get long again. Once we broke that support over there, the trade was exited on the side until we lined it up again. I waited until we broke this trend line, not trying to pick the bottom, or buying into the resistance. But after we broke out, right, that's when we lined it up. This was the last time we looked at buying it and then adding into it after breaking the resistance, going into that new swing high, coming back into the support and resuming off. Those were these right here are the two spots that we said was the time to buy Ethereum versus Bitcoin, right over there, right? And that's right on time. Not trying to pick bottoms, but waiting for that trend line break, that retest, breaking new resistance, big resistance, confirming that the support, getting back in. Yeah, so I mean that's great. Raul got on the right trade, but Raul's getting into that trade over here, right? Raul is saying over here, I think that Ethereum's going to outperform Bitcoin. Conquering the markets was waiting for that and then acting over here and here. So that's my thoughts on that. Yeah, 160,000 definitely, Josh, is the number that warrants like, okay, we could be really excited and happy about Bitcoin, even though from here we're looking to go another, $100,000 higher. But at this point, Josh, that's going to be a huge live stream. We'll make it a party. That's a reason to celebrate. $100,000, no, not so much. 160,000, absolutely. 140,000 mission accomplished number is still a good day. But that's a day of just like when Steve Jobs went public and he walks into Apple office and everyone's popping champagne and celebrating, and Steve Jobs just walks through the room and back to work. That's what 140,000 is. It's a good feeling. It's a great feeling, but it's business as usual. Business as usual, watching what our risks are. Do I always look at linear charts? New to the channel, what's going on? Glad you're here. We looked at a video over here. The third most popular video on this channel was this video I did a couple of weeks ago on Bitcoin, why I changed my mind on Bitcoin. So in the, oh, that's not the one. Right after that, I did one on log charts. Sorry about that. If you go look at the most recent video, the one I did on Bitcoin and log charts, it gives a really good overview of how we could and why we're going to use log charts. It's called About Exiting, something Bitcoin exit plans, Bitcoin log charts with take profit trend lines. This video covers everything we need to cover using log charts. It's the collaboration of a few different people, Patrick, Will, Adam, myself, all using different versions of log charts with trend line resistance that we could use as take profit levels. Will's has been fantastic. Will's has, you know, let me pull that up really quick. What's the quickest way I could pull that up? Let me come over here. Let me come to Will. And then Will's price target chart right over here. This is using log scale, right? And you could see that right into that resistance, 42,000. 42,000 is that resistance. You can't use log scales for resistance, right? Well, we did it over here. Will did it over here. He has the trend line, you know, perfectly placed. The clone trend line work that we all do over here at CTM. And he had that resistance right at 42,000. You can't say it's wrong, right? And right, we're looking also at this over here right now on Bitcoin, waiting for that trend line to break eventually. We don't know that it breaks here, right? We could go lower and then break out. If we break out over here, fantastic. We like it. What other image was I just on? There we go. So by the way, until we break above this trend line over here on the upside, because we're looking at that down sloping, this down sloping line over here, trend line, let's be aware also of this trend line coming in somewhere around 45,000. So 45,000, that's right near the all-time high. Once we clear above 45,000, that's when Bitcoin has the opportunity to run and run up towards, right now, somewhere around, we could say somewhere around, let's call it $70,000, between $68,000, $72,000. That will be where we're looking. Is that 100? What's 150% off of 35,000? What was our last drawdown over here on Bitcoin? Because if you remember when Bitcoin pulled back 16.5%, I did 150% off of here. It put us at 40,000. That's where I'm looking. That's where we ended up, right? Will nailed the top. That's what we do here. Beautiful work, Will. And then we pull back that 30%. And if this is the low over here at 28,700 Bitcoin, let me put that into a calculator, and then plus 150%, that takes us to, there you go, 71,750 Bitcoin, 72,000 Bitcoin. That's the same number I gave you looking at Will's chart over here and looking at the trend line over here and where the next resistance would be. He has it at 65,000 right there. Some time has passed since then. We'll be coming up more towards that $68,000 to $72,000 area. That's what I get by adding 150% off of the recent low. So those are things that we've looked for in the past to be guides for us during the next bull market, and that's what we're looking at right now. So right now, while Raul is, I guess, talking about Ethereum, I'm like, my eyes right now are on 70,000 Bitcoin, right? That's what I'm focused in right now, just working through that drawdown. And I've said it, and we've not only said it, we've positioned for Ethereum versus Bitcoin because, yeah, we expect Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin. But do understand that Ethereum is lagging DOT. Ethereum is lagging DOT in a big way. So if you're interested in trading versus Bitcoin, is Ethereum the one to do it? Or should you, where else should your focus be? What type of DeFi projects have the opportunity to outperform Ethereum itself? Is Chainlink another one of them? Not so much. Chainlink is very far from its all-time high on Bitcoin. What is outside of DOT? That I'd be interested in. You guys pulled up a few on our Friday session. We'll do that again this Friday. I don't want to look into that right now, but you could see Cardano outperforming even Ethereum versus Bitcoin at this point. Right? Is that true? That's not true. Ethereum well outperforming. Ethereum well outperforming. Yeah, there we are. 3-day time frame. That's the all-time high. Let me look back at Cardano now, just to get that type of awareness. About the same. Right? And that's what we're looking for, by the way. We're looking for the top 10 to outperform Bitcoin by a little bit as we get into this phase right now. And now we're starting to see it's when the rest of the altcoins are going to be making their move. I guess we're back where we started from. 848 likes. Thank you, everyone, supporting the work over here. I'm really grateful. That really helps get the word out there. That was mentioned over here. Right? Listen, I'm going to be really more diligent about reminding myself to like your videos, because I don't think any of your videos deserve a single dislike button. Insane. It's free education that will give you an edge in trading. I mean, great description. A free education that will give you an edge in trading. And look, I say that thanks. It really helps promote my work to a wider audience. Anytime I ask for help in smashing that like button, those videos perform way better. So I thank you for when you guys do that. I only want you to do it if you're feeling it. You know, if you appreciate what's being shared here, the time we're spending together, what we're learning, how we're building our future, and how we're building our future in the most calculated, what I consider to be intelligent way. Kenneth, how much higher can Bitcoin go from here? We looked at that earlier in the video, right? But if we're looking at 280,000 Bitcoin, could we go higher than that? I imagine so. That would be about an 8x from where we are right now. So are we looking at an 8x from here? You know, well, that's where I have it pegged. How long we've been on this morning together? 900 likes, hour and a half. Thank you all for spending the time. Again, listen, the reason I go over the market and do these things is to get myself as well positioned as possible. I'm really honored for the opportunity to be able to share that with you. I'm grateful for it. I think what we share here is very special. It is very important to me. I want to thank you all for making it so special. And, you know, thank you. Yeah, Aave is something we looked at on. Let me pull up CoinMarketCap. What is the market cap on that right now? It's top 20, right? But it's been making some moves over here. Someone brought it to our attention on Friday, or my attention, I should say, on Friday during the Ask Me Anything video. You might want to look at that. It's number 16 over here, right? So it's a top 20 alt. It's expected to be performing well right now. Let me go ahead and pull up the Tigger on that. So it's AAVE BTC. Let's take a look. Let me come down to the 8-hour time frame. Let me come down to the 3-day. Wow. Everyone should see it, you know, because we all know what we're looking at. But after that trend line break over there, you could see that boom, new all-time high. Now pulling back over here. Looks beautiful. It looks bullish, more bullish than DOT, right? And, you know, beautiful. Here's the pullback, right? It looks similar to DOT. Here's the pullback on DOT, right? Boom. Alt's pulling back, but that looks great. That's the best looking chart that we've had. What is the other projects that we were focusing in on? And, you know, XLM, BNB. You know, people ask, do other projects have use cases? I mean, BNB token is used by Binance to provide lower fees for their clients, and then they take quarterly profits to buy and burn of. You know, brilliant. Of course, there's use cases for these tokens. Bitcoin Cash, yeah, you could send money anywhere really cheap. Is that the use case you're looking for? right? Litecoin, they might be able to build something on top of it that's really useful, like privacy, right? Will Litecoin become the privacy coin? And if they put privacy on Litecoin, will they not put it on Bitcoin? And why wouldn't they? But yeah, so Litecoin is good if you want to get out to like the person being poked. But anyway, Bitcoin is Bitcoin. I'm interested to see how XLM is doing versus Bitcoin. I mean, it's like Litecoin, in my opinion. It's very similar to the chart of Litecoin versus Bitcoin. So, again, you want to focus with where the strength is, where those network effects, where money is being attracted to, right? You want to follow the money. There's more money coming into Stellar than coming into Ethereum right now. That's coming into DOT on a relative basis for what their market cap is. Do I think that, do I think that long-term, short-term gap gains in my exit of Bitcoin, Ethereum link strategy is smart or dangerous? Look, man, just depends on how much money you could earn doing what you're doing. If as an active trader right now during this bull market, does it make sense to pay your real tax rate? Of course, you don't have to get caps gains on that. Long-term cap gains that might be taken away from you anyway, that option of long-term capital gains. Let's see what happens. I don't think in 2021, though, I think the timing on that for this Bitcoin bull run is perfect. Even if they do raise long-term capital gains to 40%, it looks like that won't be effective until 2022. So any gains, taken in 2021 bull run, that could work out well. But, earning money and then paying tax on it, just like I do in FX, is that something that you should or shouldn't do? I mean, think about it. Monero, right? We track Monero. That's the one altcoin because it has a use, right? Monero's on my watch list. I showed you my watch list in that weekend video, right? It's been there. We added the Bitcoin pairs, tightened them up over the last couple of weeks. They're of paramount importance right now. That's what we moved our focus to. Thanks for Brandon and all his work. Brandon on crypto trades and tech. It's linked over there in my featured YouTube channels. Brandon, strong part of this Conquering the Markets community, putting out amazing work all the time. Super, super informative and helpful. Also, you'll find Trade Talk. Heath started his live streaming sessions over there, put out the weekend video of preparing for the week in FX ahead. Absolutely phenomenal. Read the comments on some of those videos and then you'll start watching. Phenomenal work. Do subscribe to both those channels, and you could get their updates, by the way, if you're on the broadcast Telegram channel. That every time I go live every morning, I put that link out because YouTube's not reliable whether or not they're going to notify you. If you're not yet on that Telegram broadcast channel, you absolutely should be. That's in essence the mailing list of this channel, and there's never once ever been put out a direct advertisement through that channel for you to buy anything. Only content, only when it goes live, or a message that, hey, listen, for whatever reason, this is going to be my streaming schedule for the week or days ahead. If that were to change from the 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday, I don't foresee that happening at any time. But there have been those rare occasions when I told you, hey, listen, it was a couple of Mondays ago and I couldn't be there. Bitcoin pulled back 30% during that time. I wasn't available. Alan put out some nice tweets that the Conquering the Markets group really interacted with, and everyone was very calm and cool and collected over here on this 30% dump over here, feeling very calm. I mean, it was nice to see it rebound pretty quickly right away. This one, I think, for a lot of other people was a little bit scarier, but also that's the one we had the awareness. Listen, now's the time to start picking up some Bitcoin over there as we come into that pullback. Even with the tweet, just making sure that everyone is. People all the time I say are like, have you consulted this one? Have you consulted that one? And I mean, truthfully, the work we do here has me really the best. Anyway. Who's been more accurate about the moves? Greg, cap gains won't matter when it's time to sell. You sell, right? and very helpful in knowing you don't make any investment decision around taxes. You just pay tax on what you're supposed to pay. The S&P 500 we commented really clearly on, and it's just not attractive. The only time it'll become attractive this year will be, hold on a second, if it breaks out over here above that little bit of trend line over here, you can see this tight channel, this tight chute that the S&P is currently running in, right? Normally how these things end over here in this bullish uptrend, and normally end for the near term, is a breakout to the upside. And then you see like a huge, a lot of stops are taken out, a lot of people start chasing, and then the smart money, you take profit into that, wait for that correction. That correction could be, 9%, as little as 8%, or more. But that's the time when I think equities will become interesting. And if right now we weren't seeing the cryptocurrency market going ballistic, then this may be more interesting than anything else. Watching and riding this uptrend over here and waiting for that opportunity to sell and take profits. But it's just not the most exciting thing right now by any means. And we've been setting that up consistently for months, way in advance, just letting you know it was going to happen. And then, occasionally mentioning it. And then as it happens, just making that full transition. Everyone, and it takes time. It takes that investment of spending this time together, going over the markets. But that's what lays out the plan. And that's how in depth a trading plan should be. Always watching the markets, always assessing our risk, extraordinarily risk adverse, and therefore positioned, strongly into Bitcoin at the right time for the right reasons. There are those that again, for the active trader, do you want to be focused on altcoins versus Bitcoin right now? Of course. Make sure you pick the right ones though, right? Make sure you choose which ones are the strongest. We have to add AAVE Bitcoin pair because it's the strongest pair. It's the strongest pair that I'm looking at. Now, as we get into speculative mania, well, anyway, it's the strongest pair that I'm aware of. If anyone knows another one, please let me know. Greg has shared a lot of, as so many. Alan, Brandon Heath, Greg, so many people, and it's absolutely a treasure of treasures. Really grateful for the deeper community that we share. The work that's being produced there and put out there is absolutely exceptional. It's absolutely exceptional. I can't, I'm grateful that we share this together, and it is what it is, right? This thing just grows organically. I'm not actively looking to grow this community. It's been perfect from when we first started going live every day, Monday through Friday, with the same 30 people. And we did it for months together. For many months, it was just the same 30 people every day. And we just kept doing it, and more people kept coming. And it is what today. But as it continues to grow, the collective effort and knowledge base of the group continues to iron sharpens iron. And it lifts everyone's game, myself included. This is absolutely a treasure of a resource that we share together. Is EGLD outperforming Bitcoin? If it is, I'll pull it up. Thank you, brother. Theta, that could be one. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Wow. Massive, this different behavior, right? Newly launched. When was it launched? Probably, I guess, over here in the bear market, and has been trend. Look what happened over here. Interesting. Look, after making new all-time highs, it had that massive crash. But look since, and look right now as we are in alt season over here, continues to outperform in this large channel over here. You're now towards the top part in no man's land. All right? You're completely in no man's land. Doesn't look like something that you'd want to be focusing in right now. as much as next time it's coming back off of that support? Or this, is it possible this thing has a massive breakout to the upside, and from here is a who knows how many X versus Bitcoin? Yeah, it looks more long term. It doesn't look like a good trading pair that we're seeing occur elsewhere. Stefano, thank you for linking. Brandon's crypto trades in tech. So is the question, what should you be buying right now? Right, not what I'm positioned. Is the question, what should you be buying right now if you don't feel you are well positioned? You have to understand there's many different, you have so many almost limitless opportunities. Do you want to invest in stocks? Do you want to invest in Tesla? Do you want to invest in the indexes? Do you want to invest in the dollar milkshake, y'all? Right? Do you want to invest in the dollar? Do you want to invest in gold and silver? Right? Exciting right now. Like, do you understand gold and silver? If you don't understand gold and silver, you don't understand money. And that's where you should start, is understanding why people would be attracted to gold and silver. Now, Mark Cuban, very, very vocal that no one, it's just a collectible, right? I mean, do you understand money? So, but is that attractive right now? This is something that's attractive to me. This is the gold to Bitcoin ratio over here. And that's when we were looking at selling it, that last moment. And just once this breaks down over here, once Bitcoin starts making its next leg up, I said it's the first quarter of 2021 that Bitcoin really breaks all correlations. This was going back when we were looking at the equity markets coming off their crash, right? Right over here in March. We were well set up for all of this throughout February, watching the virus on this channel from late January and how it was going to affect the markets. So if you ever hear me talk about the virus from time to time, which I rarely do, it's because that I was aware of the virus before anyone else, and all here on the Conquering the Markets group together, and we were ready for this risk event that happened, and we're all over it, as well as the rebound, right? Then when it got tough over here, we worked it out together to make sure we stayed on the right side of the trade. And this was the toughest point of 2021 right here in this area of late April to early May, when we didn't know, or I didn't know, if price over here was going to jump up over here to 3,100 or back down over here to 2,300 or 2,600. I said, I'm sorry, that strong support of 2,600. That was said. If you haven't seen that video, just go to the most popular video on the channel. Just go to the most popular. It's the first video right over there. This one that had 9 months ago, 65,000 views. As this happening, and I'm saying, here's exactly what's happening. And from right here at this critical injunction point, we're either going to go to 31 or we're going to go down to 26. And that's what happened. We went to 31. Watch that video. We went to 31. And then that's when we got out of the. Anyway, it's been beautiful and it's all beautiful. But the S&P right now is it's just not attractive. That's why it's not attractive. Yeah, there's been a lot of haters lately. A lot of people on Twitter putting out very funny tweets, and that or on the YouTube comments. New to the space, right? And they don't really know what they're talking about. But it's fun. It's fun to talk about their comments. Thank you. So this is interesting. Alan brought this up before. Adam's bringing it up now. He says Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, says he knows 10 institutions that have invested $500 million in Bitcoin in recent lost tape interview. I don't know anything about that. I don't know why that's a lost tape either, but that's interesting. More importantly than that is what Alan took note of, that MicroStrategy is hoping a corporate summit, a conference to teach corporations, U.S. publicly traded corporations, how to put some of their reserves into Bitcoin or all of their reserves. Who knows? MicroStrategy has a significant position. Others are going to want to catch up. Is Tesla or Oracle going to be one of these corporations? What's going to be the first tech company, right? Is it going to be Oracle followed by Tesla? Let's see what happens over here. It's going to be fun. That's why this bull run is going to be so massive. It has every reason to be. It has every reason to be. Enormous amount of interest and money flowing into Bitcoin over here, which, by the way, has a really small market cap. What is the market cap? Is it 800 billion right now, Bitcoin? Bitcoin's market cap. Boom, boom, boom. How do you find it? 640,000. 640 billion market cap of Bitcoin. Very, very small. There are those, most especially myself, who firmly believe this is going into a multi-trillion-dollar asset. And then it's going to really start attracting a lot of noise. Maybe, I mean, Binance Coin is lagging. It's a coin that has a good use case. Maybe towards the later end of the bull alt season, it's really gonna fly, But right now, that's not the time. You could see over here on Binance Coin, like that's not the time. If it breaks this trend line at any time, then it might be interesting to see what happens with Binance Coin. But right now, it's not. It's not even close. So, that's a low risk trade, trying to buy this strong downtrend over here while other things are outperforming and strong versus Bitcoin, buying something that's weak versus Bitcoin. At this point, in my opinion, doesn't make any sense, or, and a break of that trend line, well, then maybe it would make sense, but, you should be better positioned in something else, in my opinion, not investment advice. Yeah, so this is a great question. Where was I in Bitcoin in 2017? And did you exit the trade in that cycle? I mean, yeah. So I was into Bitcoin early in that in the summer of 2016. And, I remember Bitcoin finally breaking out above 800, 850, coming off of the 250 low over there, where it was the accumulation place. I got a nice position into Bitcoin, but I did not exit during the 2017 December mania at all. Not at all. Not only that, when Bitcoin came off 50% relatively quickly and then came back up towards 18,000, I didn't exit there either on Bitcoin at all. That's what really, it wasn't until 2018 that I really focused in and just saw like the matrix, the 4-year cycle. And it's just something, once you see it, let me take a sip of water. Sorry about that. It's something that once you see it, you can't unsee it. You understand that it exists. And that's what happened. Great question. No, I wouldn't give any advice. Like, I mean, I don't listen. I could look at Bitcoin. I could look at instruments. I could look at trends, and I'm really, just my opinion, good at being able to spot and understand trends and really ride that sweet spot of them as they're occurring in real time, right? Instead of being attracted to them afterwards. But as far as like tax strategies and all that, like that stuff is so complicated that I need help from my own. So I'm not here to give anyone advice. Wow, I did not hear that. I don't know. Is like that's amazing. Is that true? Did this company Mara buy 150 million in Bitcoin today? That's enormous. If that's true, we're looking at Square only put 50 million on their balance sheet originally of Bitcoin into reserves. Has Square been accumulating Bitcoin? If Square was ahead of the game and understood why they should accumulate Bitcoin and put a position onto their balance sheet, then have they been accumulating since? And in their next quarterly report, how much Bitcoin are they going to announce they hold? If they don't hold any, what do you think of them? Then what do you think of them? So interesting. A lot of stuff going on. There we go. Alan is absolutely not only Alan, but Alan is absolutely phenomenal on the alt space every day in the Conquering the Markets group, providing invaluable insight, right? Obviously, Brandon as well, those two work like almost in unison. It's beautiful, as is the way that the whole community operates together. Really, really, it's beautiful. Thank you, Miguel. Thank you so much for everything that you add to it, being here with us all the time. That really, really just bright, positive attitude, very warm, opening, welcoming. Thank you, Miguel, so much for being such an important part of that. I mean, and Heath is just the work that he does day in and day out is helping so many people. So many people. Watch Trade Talk. Watch what he's doing on FX. Watch how he's talking people through those intraday trades. People, I mean, it's just, you have to subscribe to the channel. He started doing live streams with us, and also over the weekend and every weekend uploading the week ahead in FX. Absolutely essential stuff. I can't believe what we share here together. Did we get 1,000 likes? Anytime we have 1,000 likes, that's absolutely phenomenal. Thank you every single one of you for your continued support all the time. Yeah, this is the thing, Greg. This is the truth. And right now, between what you're doing with Gene, between what Brandon's doing with Alan, what Alan's doing, and with what Heath's doing, and with what I'm doing, and what I continue to do day in and day out, I mean, where else do you need to go? It's absolutely phenomenal content, and it's almost impossible to keep up with all of it in such detail. So you need to find out where you best fit in, and then continue to add to that and make it just better and better and better. And that's what goes on here. Thank you. All right, we're gonna go with some music over here. Great session. Thanks for spending the time with me. Thanks for doing what we do every day. I mean, I'm so glad someone brought up GameStop, because it's really interesting to hear what's going on. And you have over here GameStop with the short interest that is extraordinarily high. You have Robinhood investors going ahead and basically pushing those stop losses, calling this massive short squeeze over here something to read about. I think you could search GameStop Zero Hedge and read that article on it. Otherwise, it was on Twitter and I wouldn't be able to. But really, really interesting. Good. Thanks for bringing that up. right, everybody. Great session. Thanks for getting through that in the beginning, the audio issues. Worth it in every way for myself. Have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful day. And listen, the rest of the week, those that are listening now, I don't know whether I will or will not have afternoon videos. I'll be here every day at 9 o'clock a.m. for sure. But whether or not I do upload videos in the afternoon this week, I'm not going to commit to anything worth talking about. As always, I will be there. Everyone, have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you later.